On the final day of his sophomore year of high school, James Clear was struck directly in the face with a baseball bat. A classmate took a full swing, the bat slipped from his hands, and it flew across the field, hitting Clear squarely between the eyes. The force of the impact crushed his nose into a distorted U-shape and shattered both eye sockets. Within seconds, the soft tissue of his brain began to swell so rapidly that his left eye bulged out of his head, forcing doctors to place him in a medically induced coma. When we look at a catastrophic setback like this, we usually assume the recovery requires an equally cinematic response. We often wait for a massive, defining moment of action to fix a massive problem. This expectation creates a dangerous paralysis. By waiting for an earth-shattering improvement that everyone will talk about, we overlook the small wins that are actually within our reach. 2 years later, Clear arrived at Denison University to begin college. There was no triumphant training montage to get him there. His actual recovery process looked entirely mundane. Because he couldn't play baseball yet, he focused on getting his life in order. While his peers stayed up late and played video games, he built a habit of going to bed early. In the messy world of a college dorm, he made a point to keep his room neat and tidy. These routines are what Clear calls atomic habits. They are the single, irreducible units of a much larger system, small routines that eventually become an automatic response to a specific situation. On any given day, these improvements were minor, yet they gave him a sense of control and confidence that rippled into the classroom, where he earned straight A's and eventually back onto the baseball field. 6 years after his injury, Clear was selected as the top male athlete at his university. This trajectory was built through the gradual, compounding evolution of tiny, consistent routines. This evolution follows a specific logic. Habits function like the compound interest of self-improvement. The effects of your daily choices multiply as you repeat them. The math of this trajectory is astounding. If you can get just 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Conversely, getting 1% worse each day that climbs you nearly down to 0. We expect progress to be linear and fall into a valley of disappointment when hard work produces no immediate change. But habits must persist to break through this plateau. This is the plateau of latent potential, where the true outcomes of compounding are revealed. Imagine an ice cube in a cold room. The temperature rises from 25 to 31 degrees, and nothing happens. Then, at 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt. That single 1-degree shift triggers a major physical change. If you find yourself struggling to build a habit, it is often because you have not yet crossed this threshold. Your current results matter far less than whether your daily choices are putting you on a positive trajectory. To stay on that trajectory, we have to look past the results themselves. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are what actually make progress. Most arenas of success suffer from survivorship bias. We focus on the winners and assume their goals led to their success, overlooking the fact that the unsuccessful people shared those exact same objectives. When Pat Riley took over the Los Angeles Lakers, he didn't just talk about winning a championship. He implemented the career best effort system, requiring every player to improve their output by at least 1% over the season. Achieving a goal only changes your life for the moment. If you clean a messy room, it will stay clean only until your old habits create a new pile of clutter. To improve for good, you have to fix the systems that cause those results. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game, but the purpose of building systems is to continue playing. Ultimately, you fall to the level of your systems. Lasting change requires a deeper shift. Many people revert to old habits because they focus on what they want to get, the outcome, rather than who they want to become. There are 3 layers of behavior change. The outermost is your outcomes, like losing weight. The middle is your processes, like your gym routine. But the core is your identity, your beliefs, your self-image, and your judgments of yourself. Think of a person trying to quit smoking. When offered a cigarette, they might say, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." But a person who has shifted their identity simply says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." They no longer see themselves as someone struggling with a habit. Your identity is literally your repeated beingness. Every time you perform a tiny habit, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. This is reflected in the Sorites paradox. One coin doesn't make a person rich, but if you keep adding another and another, you eventually have a heap. At some point, you have to admit that the pile was transformed by a single small change. As you continue to layer these small changes, the scales of life start to move. Eventually, these thousands of atomic habits stack up until the weight of the system begins working for you rather than against you.